All right, here we go. Welcome to our YouTube audience. You are getting live streaming of this, the World of Ability. So welcome to everybody out there following from around the world and viewing and listening to Transform You Media Network, and all of those aware of our collaboration with the World of Ability Podcast Network. And thank you for being on YouTube and giving us likes and sharing and comments, all that social media activity. We greatly appreciate it. It's what builds the energy around our show, the World of Ability Podcast. So I'm Kurt Roskopf, and I am pleased to be a host today here at the World of Ability Podcast. And we have Barbara Weinstein logging in. We already have Darush logged in, and we have our co-moderator, Denise Vargas from Live Creatively Inc. And but for a little bit of a basis on the World of Ability podcast, it's an inspiration that comes from having done radio shows with River West Radio out of Milwaukee. So you can find out what I'm referring to by going to riverwestradio.com, and you can go to Ability MKE Now show by going to the shows tab, and in shows right at the top of the list is Ability MKE Now. So, and what happened there, folks, is Marcus Hart with Transform Your Media Network did us a favor by going into our Zoom sessions while we were creating these virtually on Zoom, just like we are now, but we were doing it with River West Radio. So he would come in, just like we're using his platform right now, and he would come into the River West Radio Zoom and then pull it for live streaming, just like we're doing now, and get the recording. And we would replicate it out. We were syndicating Ability MK Now through Transform Your Media Network. And he has empowered us to go on autopilot, and he doesn't even need to be around anymore. So what a podcast mogul Marcus Hart is with Transform Your Media Network. And we're here at World of Ability because as Marcus and Emily and I, with Emily's, now Emily's doing our podcast engineering today. So thank you, Emily. She's multitasking. She is apparently handing me the controls for this podcast. So she's getting pretty savvy with all this. I don't know if she lost the connection. She's out traveling around, and she's participating in another planning meeting at the same time. So Emily Gulmer, way to go. And she's logging back in, taking the host controls. Welcome back, Emily, in the background. But as we were working with Ability MK Now, we had ideas that went above and beyond what we do on our weekly radio show. So we're doing it here, as you're experiencing it, but everything comes from the idea that we look at communities. Like with Ability MK Now, we look at the Milwaukee community, and we look at how Milwaukeeans with disabilities can participate in the city of Milwaukee, the county of Milwaukee, Milwaukee metropolitan area. So now here at the World of Ability, we can take that prototype, that blueprint from out of Milwaukee, and say, let's look at this at a global scale, which means we're looking at over 2 billion people around the world that are the experts, because the experts are the people who are people living with a disability. And so with that, we now can create education and awareness and experience like I was able to get the last decade of my life. I'm 49 years old. Mark your calendars for November 30th. That's my birthday, November 30th. And November 30th, 2022, that's the milestone for me being 50. So it's going to be a great day. It's a national holiday here at the World of Ability, my birthday. So I hope you'll be here on that Tuesday to celebrate, and the week before and the week after on our Saturday productions of the World of Ability. So when we start talking about the community of people with disabilities, we can break it down. People with intellectual and developmental disabilities, the deaf and hard of hearing community, people who are blind or visually impaired, or Daryush here is very strong in that community with people who experience vision with color blindness. And then we keep going with people with physical disabilities. And so we can start talking about, adaptive technology, adaptive equipment, mobility equipment, and things like this. And so many considerations. And I continue this realizing that it pretty much brings me into social work with a social mission. Some get into this from a social ministry standpoint. And then we're with the Happy Neighborhood Project, which is just one example of how we can get into business and get into inclusive hiring, inclusive recruiting, and so on and so forth. So this is the can of worms that we open up as we think of our faith experiences, our service life, our lifelong learning, our politics, our business, employment, workspace, and then all the fun things we do in life, hobbies, pastime, leisure activities, travel, sports rec, the whole thing, all things of life. It's lifestyle development. And this is our guiding energy. This is the track we're on as we think of a year of programming here at the World of Ability. So let's see where this episode is going to go. So to help shape today, we are going to bring in Denise Vargas, our co-moderator here. Denise, thanks for helping us out. And what is your message today at the World of Ability podcast?
Hey, Kurt. Hey, everyone. Thank you for having me. Oh my gosh. I love coming out here because, World of Ability, it is just that we are a world of unique abilities. We all have something that we contribute to the world. And, we just, I love living creatively. Just want to name my company Live Creatively. There's always a way to do things. If you think you can't do it, think again. You just need to tweak it to make it work for you. I've been doing that all my life. As a person with a physical challenge, I've had to learn to get creative and have fun in doing what I want to do. That being said, we're going to have a lot going on today. Love to hear everyone's input. We have two awesome guests joining us today. We have Barbara Weinstein. She's got the most beautiful, relaxing voice you're ever going to hear. And then we also have Darius Roddy, our tech guru. Can't wait to see what he's going to share with us today. Some insightful tips, tricks, and all fun stuff. So, yeah, I'm excited to start. And let's start with Barbara. I want to say hello. And what brings you here today? You're on mute, babe. Okay, well, Barbara's getting her. There you go.
There we go. There we go. Guess what brings me every time is the idea that here's some place where we can create value. We're doing something that's meaningful for making this planet a kinder, healthier planet where people are co-creating and joyfully and creating value. That this is it's a platform for that, to bring people out and share. So that's what brings me here, the idea that I might have things to share that are of value to many other people beside myself. And what's been impressing me this week is the idea that it's okay. I was talking about this before. It's really okay to be happy, to be relaxed, to vibrate with the idea that the things that we're going for, the things that are going to make our lives healthier and happier and better are already happening by our wish for that, happening by our communicating. So that's what brings me here today.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love that co-creating, happiness, magic. Love it, love it. So Darius, tell us hello. Tell us what's going on in your neck of the woods, and tell us where you're calling in from, because you are actually not in the U.S. And this is what's so beautiful about World of Ability. We are all over the world. So Darius, come on in and say hi.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Denise. Yes, I'm not in the US. I'm in Armenia, and but all my contacts, all my clients are in the US. And even now that I'm during the day, some hours I'm very active on Clubhouse. Uh, Most of the American people are online, and it seems that this pandemic has made so many people change their uh, resting hours, and they are online during the midnight, and at 4 or 5 afternoon they say good night and go to bed. Uh, there are a few things I want to talk about. First, there are so many scammers active in the Clubhouse. Be very careful if you are on the Clubhouse. Uh, these are these people use any trick that they can in order to make you pay them some money. Don't fall into their trap. Also, I've noticed that there are some people call themselves developers or uh, terms like that, and tell people that they can help them to make their website ADA compliant. I talked with some of them. These people have not seen any disabled person, any person with color blindness or high astigmatism or Parkinson or any kind of physical activity that requires to adapt a design for ADA for disabled people. And all they do is to install some widgets with so many buttons and people think that, okay, all these buttons are make the website ADA compliant. This is not true. Don't fall into such kind of traps. These people are just want to get money from you, and the result of their work may not be making your website ADA compliant, and you may go after some legal prosecution and legal problems. Always consult with either certified ADA auditors or a disabled person and see, can you see this text or not? Can you see this design or not? Can you see this color or not? How do you see it? There are many times that's I ask, what is the purpose of this box there that it's empty? No, it is not empty. There's a text on it. But the color of the text and the background are in a way that I cannot see it, but someone with uh, normal normal visibility can see. So consulting with experts or a real disabled person is more effective. And if a widget has so many buttons, does not mean it is ADA compliant. There are standards for creating a website. There are laws, especially in the US. I had to learn a lot of these standards and laws so that I can the websites that I create does not cause any legal problem for my clients. For example, such kind of buttons that these widgets are creating must not cover, no button must cover any part of the text, for example, in the footer or somewhere that you cannot see. Some text become hidden on the web page. There are buttons that When you scroll the page up, when you scroll the page down, it covers some part of legal pages. The visitor can never see those links, and maybe there is an important link that is behind that, and this will cause you legal problem because you are hiding a link on. You have a link on your website, but you are hiding it behind the button. So why did you hide it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's definitely something that we must have on our minds consistently, because as a business owner, we want to make sure that we're protected and that we don't fall into legal issues, later on. Plus you want everyone to experience your website in its whole, right? If you don't want them to miss out on any stuff, especially obviously important stuff, but all the fun, creative stuff as well. We want them to see everything and get the full experience.
Exactly. There are laws in the United States. For example, if you have a clinic, any kind of clinic, if you are in the health industry, your website must follow some specific rules defined by the FDA. And one of those rules is that if you are accepting any kind of information from the patients, all information must be encrypted on the database, and the code must be encrypted so that if for any reason a hacker could hack the website and could get access to the codes, and database cannot find the algorithm of encryption and decode the database and get access to the list of the name of the patients. And they make websites, such kind of websites with WordPress. These websites must be coded completely from scratch by a programmer. OpenCMS is not for such kind of businesses in such kind of industries. If you supply medicine, any kind of specific products, anything that is related to the healthcare, if you are collecting critical information of the people, the website, the database, the code, everything must be encrypted. If you are a disabled person and you are about to sign up on a website and provide information about yourself, your disability, your caregiver, your doctors, your insurance company, all these informations must be stored in the database encrypted. And WordPress websites do not do that. No plugin cannot do that. And because WordPress is open source, it is illegal to encrypt the code, its code. You cannot encrypt anything. If you encrypt it, you cannot do the search, you cannot do so many other things. It requires a special kind of programming. Only a professional programmer can do that. Not someone who calls himself developer and do not know anything about the coding. These people cannot do that, but they take this as a project because they don't care. All they see is the money. And if you go after the legal stuff, they don't care. You ordered a website, they built it. This is the responsibility of the programmer to know what is the need of that industry. What are the legal requirements?
Yeah, for sure.
Be careful about such kind of things, everything. That's why there are always, all the time, every year, multiple times, we will see data breach and so many critical information of the people are stolen. That's all because they are working with non-professionals.
For sure.
Can, can you help me understand, Darish? Can you help me understand what encrypted means? I'm not totally sure.
With some specific algorithm, your name will be transformed to a long string of meaningless alphanumeric characters. If someone cannot understand this is your name or not, this is whose name. There is another algorithm that with data specific key decrypts your name from that long string of alphanumeric characters and convert it back to your name. This is encryption and decryption. So when you sign up, when you register, open an account on a website which asks critical information about you. What are critical information? Your address, zip code, date of birth, probably credit card number, the date of the card is expired, you are married or not, you have any kind of sickness, any background about health issues, any information about disability, family stuff, children, all these kind of private information are considered as critical information. Just a name, email can be decrypted, than text. Other information is better to be encrypted. Now, this goes based on the law of each state in the United States, but in general, when it is connected to the health industry, your health, everything must be encrypted. Consider that you have a sickness, you don't want, and someone hacks the website and they find such kind of problem about you. You are a celebrity, they try to threaten you and ask for ransom. This has happened so many times, and the celebrities, actors, actresses, and all the time they said, okay, it's enough. They come to the public, announce it on the TV. I have this problem. I'm done. No longer pay any ransom to anyone. Charlie Sheen is one of them, for example.
So another way to think of it, maybe for fun. I mean, you gave the good reality description, but if I can just have a little fun with it, at the end of October, we have a little United States custom of Thanksgiving, that's next month, trick or treat with Halloween, and everybody gets dressed up. So I can go around as Kurt Roskopf, but really I could have my costume on. I've actually got one over here with a cape and whatever, but I could put a costume on to disguise myself. So that's the way I look at it. Dariush is talking about how our personal information is disguised so that those troublemakers out there don't find our information and use it for their ill purposes. So Barbara, how did we do? Did we answer it satisfactory, or you want to hit us with another question? Okay. So Barbara, you are on mute. Do you have any other commentary, any other thoughts in terms of this world of protecting ourselves and playing it safe? And do you have any experiences where you've been worried about your safety or your well-being or anything? Or do you live in a little bubble where you don't worry about anything?
No, so interesting because in getting to know other people and trusting and caring, when you have been robbed on multiple occasions because people saw you as as an easy target, as vulnerable as when I work with juvenile delinquents, they would say, please, like, don't do anything like leave your keys in your car or anything, because that's tempting us, you know, and they want to be protected from their own weaknesses. And yesterday, a friend of mine who I know to be homeless, he's been homeless for many years on Hollywood Beach, but someone who seems to have, you know, a really good heart. And I brought him to Buddhist meeting, and I brought him to Toastmasters, and, you know, anything that, you know, people that come from his country. And, you know, I bought him shoes and things like that in the past, you know, helped him. And he was telling me, I want to help you. Let me, I know about Reiki, you know, I know that you're having problems with your legs and you're hurting. And if you come, you know, to the beach, this was last night, I'm going to help you. And whether to follow my heart that's saying, this is sincere, you know, this person wants to help me as much as I want to help him. And then people saying, oh, don't put yourself at risk, protect yourself, you know, don't show up. And I thought, no, this is a fellow human being. And I said I was going to show up, and I'm going to show up and let him try to, you know, heal me, right? Do the Reiki on me. And what happened was, even though I'm not really good at healing instantly. I've gone to healers before, but I felt his sincerity, that he wanted to help heal me and protect me as much as, you know, I was caring to protect him, you know, from the rain and not having shoes. And when his shoes were all torn up and his phone was falling apart. And it's like, how are we going to have enough faith and enough trust when you've been burnt so many times and there's so many people out there to take advantage of other people? But I've seen before where I wouldn't lock my doors, and my neighbor who had a triple lock on his door, he's the one that got broken into. And in the world of, you know, wanting to believe in cause and effect, that we can make the causes to create a much more loving, caring world, you know, where sharing really is caring. And it's not just a thought we have in our heads that I have fortune and I should be sharing with somebody, but that we're actually putting our little toe in the water, just say, let me see one more time, you know, what happens when I try to come from my heart and open up and do this, and not getting hurt, you know, was amazing. Realizing that, yeah, I could judge this person because they're homeless, or I just lost it. I could, you know, or I could see the person that's there and not be afraid to interact. And I felt better today. I didn't feel better right away from, you know, his wanting to heal me with a little, you know, what he knows about Reiki and what he knows about hypnosis. And, you know, he knows some things about healing. And I felt like I was being very genuine. I was feeling like I'm in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing, which is the best feeling in the world, when you feel that's happening and you're creating greater value on this planet, and you're creating greater value, you know, for everybody, right? With the causes we make. That just happened for me yesterday. So, you know, I like to think there's nothing that I can say that everyone shouldn't hear. You know, I don't have to have so many secrets. I can be more open. I think that's a really good feeling.
That's a beautiful feeling. I love the openness, and actually, Kurt, you know what? I'm actually liking Barbara's bubble. I'd like to expand that bubble through all of World of Ability and throughout the whole world. I'd like to live in that happy bubble. I love it. Positivity, yes.
You know, when the whole COVID thing was happening, I had friends, the beach was closed to people. And we were going, what? How do you close the ocean to people? And we would sneak through, don't tell anyone this, we would sneak through the police barricades and jump in the ocean and be doing laughter yoga, laughing and hugging each other and jumping in the ocean and saying, this is what's keeping us healthy. this is important. And none of us so far, they're not going to worry something, but none of us got sick through this whole COVID crisis. And, I thought the laughing and the hugging and the being one with nature and trying to stand up for what we believe to be real, everyone stayed healthy. What do you think about that?
Yes, nature is important. Getting out in nature and using what we have naturally and on this planet. That there's so much. I love science, of course. I love my doctor, but even my doctor realizes that nature is important, and what we have naturally in this world is important. Matter of fact, Kurt and I was speaking about that briefly last night, as to how many great things we have in abundance here on the earth, that we just as we've progressed in the world, it seems like we've progressed in so many things, and in other things we've kind of forgotten our way in what's here for us, that medicinal things, just nature, the air, the ocean, like you said, that salt air is so beneficial to you. And
I want to share, like I have some problem walking right now, but for someone in a wheelchair, they had like ramps that went over the sand. That went over the sand and right up to the ocean. So someone in a wheelchair could get to the ocean in their wheelchair. And then what I'm finding is like younger, stronger friends that help me get in and out of the water so that I could have that experience and feel healthier about it. And, I wish that for you too.
Thank you. Yes, that's beautiful. And one of Kurt's experience, which is really what opened him up to the whole world of people with challenges, is his friend. And no one tells a story better than Kurt himself, but I do love that story about when his friend could not experience the same thing that him and all of his friends were experiencing in Milwaukee. And he changed that. He changed that for his friend. He changed that for people in Wisconsin. And he's changing it worldwide. He wants to bring awareness the same way that awareness was brought to him. And I love that story so much that thank you, Kurt, for sharing that story with us.
Yeah,
you're very welcome. And our friend Daryush has been able to experience the difference these things have made in my life, because it goes back it's approaching 20 years ago that Daryush and I were doing our things, at the keyboard and clicking and doing the Skype groups and all this stuff. And then we kind of drifted away a little bit. And in recent years, we came back together, and it's been kind of amazing how we were only talking technical stuff 15 years ago. And now, as Daryush and I were reunited in the last decade, we've been talking about all of this accessibility. And I've been learning about what he's been catching up to, what he's been doing with web content accessibility guidelines and so forth. But Daryush, do you want to comment to that a little bit in terms of, you and I knowing each other and kind of the change of times and what that's all meant for you? And like Denise made commentary about my story that she just finds it from the version I told her, but you knew me way back when. So what are your thoughts about all this?
A few days ago, I was talking with Carolyn, and she asked how long I know you. I told her it is about, I don't know, maybe 17, 18, 20 years almost. How did you meet? I said, I don't think not both of us, any of us remember the name of the social network that we met. But we started, our friendship started from that time. I met you, Robert, and few other people that with some of them I'm still in contact. They are on my friends. We are from time to time we chat each other. At that time we were not talking. Disability was not a subject to talk about. We had other stuff to talk about, and no one at that time talk about the ADA or WCAG or disabilities and compliance of the websites, because websites were something new, and all the time new technologies was announced, so many new things, innovations were announced, were released, and all, if we do not follow with the advancements every day, we missed a lot. It has changed so during these years. Everything has changed so much, and I was not aware myself that I have a colorblind. I am colorblind. I knew that my eyes are. I have astigmatism, and I'm using eyeglasses for that. But I did not know that high astigmatism is also considered as a disability. So our talk was completely different. We were talking about the business and networking and this stuff. Recently, when I found out that a couple of years ago that I found out about my that I am a colorblind person too, and then accidentally I noticed that Kurt is also involved in the disability community. This made us to reunite again and get closer for better cooperation and planning for some awareness campaigns, and we have a lot more to do in the coming year.
That's right. So Barbara, do you want to speak a little bit to, you met me through Helen Weaver with Wellness Weavers, and, her reference to like what we're doing now is the Green Starship Enterprise. And you want to speak to, how you and I connected, and kind of where this world of ability stuff falls into your area of interest?
I would love to. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you good. Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay, because I lost the face connection for everybody. But yeah, I actually met Helen going to a conference for applied therapeutic humor as a laughter yogini, leading laughter yoga circles. And I was so impressed with people talking about the importance of people being able to play together and laugh together. And Helen was so wonderful at seeing how impressed I was by this, that she made it so that I could be at the conference, the whole 4 days that it was happening. And then I started learning about time banks instead of money banks, which is this concept of, if there's something that I excel at, that I can do, and somebody needs that help, and I come in and I help them. And I'm not sure if you're okay. And I can help them, and then I can put in the time that I gave that other person helping them into my time bank, and then I can put down, like, let's say I want to plant a garden and I'm not sure how to do it, and somebody else can say, hey, I have some time I can give you and I'm good at that, and they come and they help me, and then they're able to put time into the time bank, and people start the idea of sharing is caring becomes very real, and people start knowing each other's dreams and goals and helping each other and changing the economy. And then when I met you, Kurt, I really felt like I had a place on the planet where my disabilities, things that might have alienated me from other people, you could see the beauty in who I got to be created to be through being who I am, and how that can contribute to others. And that's just the best feeling ever, to feel like understood and a contributing part of society. That's the best feeling. Can you still hear me?
Yep, we're hearing you
Okay.
good.
Because my phone went black. I was like, but yeah, I think everybody needs that, so much, to feel like you belong, on this planet, and that you're appreciated, that, you have something to give. And the fact that you created a platform, that's what I was learning from what Steve Jobs did and what the Pixar people do. They say you create a platform or a stage that other people can come up onto and show their talents and grow like their talents and what they have to give, and learn how to work together. And thank you so much for your effort in doing that, your sincerity and being that kind of a person. They talk about there's the people that are the stringy people, but then you have the pole people, and the pole people, they stay there. They're emotionally strong, and they're there. And so the stringy people can come and start to hold on to the pole. And that's where you start getting harps and cellos, and you start getting the wonderful harmonious music, when people are willing to be pole people, right? For all those strings out there. This is my idea of string theory.
Wow.
Did that make sense to anybody? I hope.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I've had fun in the past, and in my time knowing all of you, I haven't used this analogy, but I've had fun in the decades of my life, kind of like self-deprecating humor, that I have like zero musical talent. And so I tell people when they start talking about music and I'm letting people get to know me better, I'm just very clear. I'm like, I have so much difficulty with music. I have trouble playing the radio. so I kind of go there, but the irony then is that with what I'm doing, I view myself that since I can't play an instrument, I don't understand music that well either, even though I studied it in middle school and all this. But like last night we were at a football game, high school football game, and the marching band was out there, and you have these people, the conductors, basically, conducting the music and kind of getting the beat going, the rhythm to the music, and they're just waving their hands. And I kind of feel like that I'm kind of out there. I feel like I'm coming up to an orchestra, and like you talked about talents, everybody's playing their different instrument. If you do a solo, it's its own experience. But then when you make it a part of the whole orchestra, it's just amazing to me. And it might be more amazing to me because I don't do it. And the show I put on is water skiing. So I appreciate this, that I can appreciate if somebody's in the audience and they don't have interest to water ski, but they love to watch me water ski. I can kind of relate because that's where I am with music, but that's kind of an analogy that I use is an orchestra. I have a lot of respect for what it takes to make an orchestra happen. And I think that's the type of dynamic that I'm trying to create with the podcasting and so forth. So we're getting a share here, a little picture here. You're having fun at the beach, Barbara.
As I was
I'm thinking
trying,
you
right?
pressed that button on accident. I don't know. Are you telling a story? What's going on here? What's the
Yeah,
story of the
yeah, yeah. So I was trying to get back into the Zoom call where everyone could see each other. Yeah, this picture came up under stop video. It's a good one. That's a friend of mine who we all have different disabilities, that to try to talk about. And I don't even know what to share, but she's someone who actually is in the adult entertainment industry, and trying to figure out how to protect her and love her and let her feel her beauty. But you can see what a beautiful young woman that person is. And yeah, there's so many things that people are struggling with, and that when we start having more compassion for everybody, right, we'll all become healthier together. I know it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And in terms of, you say becoming healthier, I know we're in the final segment of our show here. So Denise talked to me about a little experience that she's having, health wise, with a little tool, a little product, and it's been so meaningful to her. So Denise, I want to check in with you. Would you be willing to share a little bit of what I learned from you in terms of a product that you're using for your health?
Yeah, thank you. Oh my gosh. I actually was very fascinated with natural uh, natural alternatives, which is interesting that I'm saying alternative when it's really, it is the premises of our beings, right? We are natural organs, natural beings. We are created with such a remarkable way of repairing our own bodies. But again, we lost track of that as we've lived our lives, especially a fast-paced life where we might not be taking the best, making the best choices when it comes to food and exercise and all that wonderful well-being. And then as a person with a disability, I am not able to take pills. I can't swallow pills. And anything that has a terrible taste, I might attempt to take it the first couple of times. And if it's just really horrific, I'm just not going to continue taking it. So I found, I've been doing a lot of research, and I've been learning more and more about the benefits of CBD and how we naturally have this in ourselves. And, throughout the years, we lose a lot of it. So I've learned about it. I wanted to, be able to start taking it and have my body do what it's naturally supposed to do to get rid of all the pains and toxins that I've had in my body, all the inflammation, which is really what was creating the pain. But I can't take pills. I found these great patches, and I finally got a pack on Wednesday night. I started the first patch Wednesday night. By Thursday, I realized that I went 20 hours without my regular pain medication. And I was so excited. I was like, oh, wow. Because you don't normally believe something until you experience it for yourself. You want to believe it. You say, oh, well, maybe, but, is it too good to be true? And it truly wasn't. So I was so excited about that. I want to tell the whole world about it, because especially people with disabilities who can't swallow pills, or children who they don't want to take their vitamins, because even if it's the Flintstones or any kind of fruity other kind of multivitamin, it's either full of sugar, or it might taste good for a half a minute, and then that's it. And they don't want to take it anymore, like myself. So yeah, I just love telling people about it. And anybody who does want to learn more about it, connect with me at Denise@livecreativelyinc.com, and I'll, tell you more about it. But Yeah, our health is so important. And the more we learn about all the ways that we can really, just like Barbara said, just go out into nature, go out into the beach, you know, drink some wonderful, tea that we have in abundance on this earth. There's so many wonderful whole nutrition that we can get from our beautiful earth. So let's learn more about that, and let's get creative in our health. So yeah, that's me. And I had so much fun here today learning information, and Daryush is always a wealth of knowledge. Barbara's always, love your stories, love your voice. We got to get that laughing yoga in here one day.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Kurt, for having me as a co-moderator. Love being here with you and telling the whole world about all of our unique abilities. And everyone there in Facebook and YouTube, come join us next week. Love to chat some more. So back to you, Kurt.
All right. Thank you very much. So Daryush, I want to give you a chance, a little minute to win it exercise. I'll give you 1 minute to give a little bit of a note of a health hack that you come up. I want to speak your language, so I'm going to use that hack thing. And so I'm coming up with this, or maybe it's out there, a health hack, anything that you've done in your life to, as a technologist, like when you knew me, from 15, 18, like you said, approaching 20 years ago, I was a technologist right with you, a Microsoft business partner and all this stuff with the technology I was doing. So I took the approach that as geeks, as technology nerds, that we were drawing people to the computer, which is sedimentation. And as a business operator, I took responsibility for that. And I said, I have to couple my technology business with something that goes with it that's healthy. So I got involved in like green campaigns and sustainable and renewable energy resource, that whole thing that gets me, to the greeneries and away from this electronic world, to unplug from it and go off and diffuse it by being where there's nothing man-made out in nature. So Daryush, how do you think about that as a technologist and as a human being? What's your technology or your technology for health that I'm calling a health hack?
Definitely, there are so many technological tools that can save the lives, but we must not forget the nature. And instead of all the time looking at our phones, sometimes move the heads up and look around and enjoy the beauty of the nature.
Yep, that is great. I like that. It's a good add-on to the end of our conversation here. And Daryush, 1 more minute to win it. What's coming up with the tech show with you? Called the Tech Show with Daryush. What are we looking forward to on your next produced show?
We have a new guest this week, and also I had a talk with John Morley, and soon we will have it was a very interesting talk with him. He's running JMore Talk at the Transform You Media Network too. And there are new we initiated some talks about some sort of cooperation, business cooperation, and but it is too early to talk further about it.
All right, that's good. So in the business, we call that a tease. So, you got to be there type of thing. So tune in to the Tech Show with Daryush with the, I call it the Give Me 10, but it's simply TEN, Tech Engagement Network, right here at Transform Your Media Network. So thanks Dariush for being a resource there. So with that, it is wrap up time again. My name is Kurt Roskopf, co-host here at the World of Ability Podcast Network. And I know our podcast engineer, Emily Gulmer, she was trying like the Dickens to stay on with us, but she's out traveling around, South Central Wisconsin, and those cell towers just are not connecting the way she had hoped, or maybe her battery ran out. You never know. That's technology for you. Technology is great when it works, but thank you to Emily Gulmer for all of her help, and she got us going here and got us started on live streaming on YouTube. So thanks for all of our YouTube viewers, and we got the recording going with Transforming Media Network. Marcus and the team are gonna get that out there onto all of our platforms, even our audio only platforms like Spreaker and so forth. So we are having lots of fun with the World of Ability Podcast Network. And so I am pleased. I'm just watching my screen change for me here. I got something logged in and there's no display to go with it. So I am looking for my buttons here. See, I'm lost when Emily's not here. But again, if you have any questions about today's show, I am Kurt at the Disability Channel .us. That's my email. Kurt, K-U-R-T, at the Disability Channel .us. And you can call or text me at 262-372-1754. So again, an easy way to remember that is by thinking of it as 262-372-1-SKI. And that comes from my water ski background. And if you want any background to these shows, feel free to grab the address. Now, as the time I'm giving it to you, I think our webmaster is doing some changes. So you may be getting an error right at the time I'm sharing this, but the domain reference is worldofability.com/shows. So if that's working for you, if our webmaster has that up, that'll be a great way to go. Otherwise, you can go to our YouTube page, and you can find us on YouTube through the World of Ability Podcast Network. So with that will wrap us up, and I'm just checking for my YouTube controls. Wow, Dariush, I might have to get your technical assistance here. I have lost my control to stop the YouTube. We're going to be on YouTube till we end this meeting. That's not good. Let me check this here. All right. Well, in any case, bye to all of you listening through Transform You Media Network.
You want me to stop it?
Is that what's going on? I mean,